I guess just kind of talk about the group as a whole offensively. Where do you feel like you guys are heading into A-Day?
I think we've gotten better. You know, I think early on, one thing we've gotten a little more consistent. We really have, and to the point that our bad plays now aren't as bad as they were early on, and then our good plays, we actually feel like maybe we execute the way it's designed, the way we want to. So, you know, I have no idea how they'll perform tomorrow in front of everybody. Excited to see how we respond to that. But, you know, there was a big difference from our first scrimmage to our second scrimmage, and the same thing from last week of practice to this week of practice. You can just see that a lot of little things, the lights clicking. You know, maybe on a day like Wednesday when on the field, I didn't feel like it was that great. As far as practice goes, you get back in, you watch the film, and you realize, yeah, there were some things that weren't good. Some of it was new stuff we just put in too. But then there was a lot of little things that you start to notice that, okay, we're starting to get that, we're starting to get that. So we're making a lot of progress, and you know, last Saturday I felt like we made some steps forward. We made some plays. You know, we wanted some wideouts to make some plays they weren't supposed to, some running backs to have some runs, break some tackles. We ran the football well. And so hopefully this Saturday, you know, we can see even another jump. We talked about making that jump at practice 7 with our players, from 7 to 15. So far we're getting better, and in front of our fans tomorrow, hopefully we can continue that.
Is it possible through 12 practices to say that one quarterback has been better than the other at this point, or they've been pretty dead even?
It would probably be possible, but in our situation, no, I think they both are getting better. I mean, and I mean that. It's not just coach speak. They're both getting better. They're both making better decisions. They're making more accurate and better consistent throws. I think that comes with just being more comfortable with reps of the reads, more comfortable on the same page with the wideouts, throwing on time better. Make no mistake, they're still making poor decisions, and we're still not doing everything we need to do at times. But a lot of the stuff we've been repping since early on, we're really starting to get pretty clean at, which is positive. And it's just a matter of, I've said it earlier, we got to process the information fast. It's one thing to do it when you're throwing the routes on air or in practice, and you get out there and there's live bullets flying. How are you going to react? Both guys have gotten better. I don't think there's a whole lot of separation though right now.
Rhett, can you talk about how you're going to play the quarterbacks in the game tomorrow? Yeah,
I'm going to try to be pretty balanced with it, and both guys are going to get plenty of reps with both teams. You know, we're going to have a white team and a blue team. Both guys will get reps with the white team. Both guys will get reps with the blue team. The way we've divided it should be pretty competitive. I mean, yeah, it's for our fans, and we want to go out there and put on a, you know, I know our kids want to put their best foot forward. We obviously want them to as well, but we're wanting to, this is a big evaluation for us. So it's not like we've stacked one team over the other. We've got good linemen on both sides, good skill players. So it shouldn't matter which team each quarterback's with. They're going to have plenty of guys to work with at all spots. So I expect Jonathan and Kyle to both work with both groups. Haven't decided how we'll start it out. It could be random. It won't. I mean, it should be at the end of the day about even in the number of reps. The only thing that'll determine that, if one quarterback's team moves the ball more, then naturally they'll get more plays.
In the pace drills we've seen, you've had 3 different left guards. What's Devontae Danzy done to get a shot on that first unit?
Well, what we're trying to do is at every position create that competition. I think Alex Kozan has gotten better. There's no question since we kind of moved him from looking at a little center to guard. Chad Slade definitely has been steady. He's played a lot of games, and Devontae's been coming on. He had a really good scrimmage Saturday, so it's more of trying to see how he responds more than Alex isn't doing things right. So all 3 of those guys rotating in right now. We feel like those 3 guys are getting better, and so we want to see how they respond being with that other group, you know, and those kind of things. And so far doing well, and we'll probably keep rotating them tomorrow and those last couple practices.
Where's Jordan Diamond at?
Jordan's coming along. Jordan's coming along. We kind of moved him to the other side, and you know, Jordan's young. He's had, what, a redshirt year and had a surgery during that period, so he's getting better, and it's just a matter of reps for him. He's a big guy. He's a strong guy. It's just going to be a matter of getting his feet to go where his mind wants him to go, and I've been proud of him too.
So he moved into the right side now?
Well, no, we haven't moved anybody because we don't have a depth chart.
Okay.
But we've all those 4 of those guys have been moving and playing.
Right.
And you can't really read anything into that. I know it's hard to say that, people want to, but in the NFL you got 8 linemen. I mean, guys play all over the place. You got inside guys and you got outside guys, and you know, so you could be a left guard, right guard. Our guys got to be able to play the side. And so sometimes just to mix and match, see different combinations, see how continuity works with certain guards and tackles. One guy may be on the left and he may be on the right. So there's been no move, if that's what you're asking, but he'll play some left, he'll play some right. That's been kind of standard throughout spring.
Has Jalen Benson seemed to be the most consistent receiver for you, a guy you can really count on?
He's been probably throughout the course of spring, him and Quan Bray. Quan's been very consistent. But, you know, overall, across the board, our wideouts have gotten better, but there's been inconsistencies. You know, Jalen made a really nice catch last Saturday in the scrimmage for a touchdown. What we want to see is our wideouts now starting to get used to the pace. Now, physically, we got to be able to go 4 and 8 plays in a row. It can't be, well, I ran hard for 2 or 3 plays and now I'm taking a play off and not blocking, or I'm not fresh on play 6 of the drive. But Jalen's been steady. You know, look for tomorrow. Those guys, you know, we've still only got 6 of them. So we're going to go play a game tomorrow with 2 teams with 6 scholarship wideouts. And so, you know, it'll be interesting to see how they respond. They're all going to get plenty of running in.
Who's been your most explosive receiver so far, the guy that's shown the most potential to make the big play?
You know, I think you look at both Ricardo and Sammy. They got speed and size to go vertical, and both of them made some really nice plays down the field. Sammy made a great catch last week. We've said it all along, Sammy can make the wow play. Can Sammy make the consistent play, the play you're supposed to make, and be consistent? I feel like he's getting better. I really do in the last week and a half. You know, not only when the ball's thrown to him, you know, playing without the ball. It's just a process. Those 2 guys have that ability. You know, Quan and Trevon Reed are both guys with the ball in their hand, even if it's not maybe a deep ball. You get them the ball quick, they can make people miss and do some things with it as well. And then, you know, we talked about how Jalen's just been solid. So it'd just be a matter of tomorrow, hey, can we make plays?
The running back position, I know Trey's been banged up. You try to look at him some in the game, or
Yeah.
you still?
Yeah, we're in good shape as far as, I mean, we got guys that are nicked up, but just about everybody should be getting some reps tomorrow. And, you know, Trey's practiced the last 2 days. So you got Trey, Corey, and Cameron, and then, of course, Patrick Lyman's been doing a nice job too. So we hope to get all those guys plenty of reps. You know, having 2 teams, that'll allow us to do that.
What's Melvin's situation?
He's doing fine. You know, he's probably the one guy, I don't know if he'll go, but nothing major. He's fine.
What have you seen out of Brandon Cole? Seems like he's been spending a lot of time with the starters.
Yeah, Brandon's a guy that, you know, when we moved Jalen to see how he works on the outside, it kind of enhanced his role a little bit with that, you know, first group, so to speak. And he does a nice job for a big guy. He's really good out in space. And, you know, he can obviously put his hand down and play tight end and be really, I think he could, you know, be really effective there. And we look for him to do that. But, you know, you split him out, he's really good blocking on the perimeter because of his size. He swallows people up. For a guy that size, he can really run, and he's got great hands, great ball skills. So he's a weapon. I mean, a big body guy like that, not many safeties and corners really want to go hit him. So he's made some nice plays even last week's scrimmage when he was really covered, but just using his body, and he's done a good job.
Seems like you got 3 tight ends kind of like that. And
We do. We have some good size at that tight end H-back spot. You know, when you look at Brandon, CJ, Ricky Parks, and then, of course, Jay's a real solid H-back. So we feel like that could be a strength for us. It's just been a matter of getting them reps. Guys like CJ, Ricky's young, getting them reps. We've had Brandon with his hand down some. We've had him split out some. We feel like we got versatility there, so we've been trying to mix them around a little bit, get them a little bit of everything, see what each one's best at, and also try to just get them those reps to get better at things, because those guys are weapons. If they can do what we do in the run game, but then also make plays in the passing game, that's a big plus.
Are Brandon and CJ kind of the same guy in terms of the role that they play?
They're very similar. You know, Brandon's a little bigger, a little stronger, I guess, so to speak. He puts his hand down right now. He's better as an attached tight end. CJ's gotten better, and we've really been working him hard at that this spring. Because, I mean, with his frame, he's got the potential to be an incredible tight end. You know, CJ's a little more probably comfortable, just a little, I don't know if he's more athletic, faster and leaner, split out. But they can both easily do it. And like I said, that's a pretty good weapon. You know, you look in the NFL, you got the Vernon Davises of the world and those guys, big guys that play tight end, and then they split them out. It becomes a matchup nightmare for people.
is there room to get all those guys, Parks and those 2 all playing time?
There will be. You know, once we get into season, we try to be real specific with what people do. And so everybody will have roles. Some guys can do them all. Some guys are really good at a couple things, and we ask them to do what they're good at until they grow. You know, Ricky's young, until he develops into the whole thing. The good thing for Ricky is he's getting a ton of reps, but he's able to sit behind a guy like Jay who knows what's going on. And so between those 2, he'll come along. Ricky's got unlimited potential, you know, but he's young.
When you talk to the guys, you mentioned it, you don't have a lot of receivers right now. You obviously got some guys coming in. They know they're coming in. Do you guys stress to them just about how important the spring is to them to kind of get a leg up on the guys who come in competing for jobs and stuff?
Coach Craig may have done. I haven't really gone there with them. We've definitely stressed to them the importance of the spring. I think they know it. Hey, there's 6 of us. They're bringing in some guys naturally, which part of them probably glad to get some more legs to run around out there. But you know, it's been all about attacking and getting better, making plays. I mean, we got guys that I think they know that we need people to step up and make plays at that position. We need to get some production, and I keep using the analogy. The first year we were here, we had a guy that only had 3 catches in his career and had 60 his first year. You know, you look at, I know people are making a big deal about Jalen Denson having 1 catch. Well, you know, he's got a great opportunity, as does every one of those other wideouts. So I think the urgency's been good, if that's kind of where you're going with it. Whether or not it's been because they know guys are coming or not, I mean, that happens every year. So I'm not sure if that's the reason. But
Read a lot of guys on this offense struggled mightily on Saturdays last year. It's just a scrimmage tomorrow, but can that help, you know, get these guys back into playing football the way they know they can?
There's no doubt. I mean, a big part of this, you know, trying to regain our edge, our confidence. And I thought last week was good because we were so much better in scrimmage 2 than 1. We weren't anywhere near where we need to be. We turned the ball over a little bit. But execution-wise, it gave our guys a little bit of a boost. And we just got through talking about it after practice. You know, tomorrow for us as coaches is great because not only do we get to evaluate the X's and O's and all that and I know the scrimmage, but there's people in the stands now. How are we going to respond? You know, hey, I just told the offense, we come out and score the first 3 drives, great, now what? I mean, there's a whole game left. It's not over. Same thing, you come out, we're dropping balls, we're not executing, we look sloppy. Now what are we going to do? You know, we go 3 and out a couple times. That's what I want to see. How are we going to respond? How's that? We have that winning mentality that we feel like we're developing. Because that's how football is. I mean, the whole game goes like this. In the SEC, every game there's ups, there's downs. Can't get too high, get too low. It'll be good to see how everybody responds. Quarterbacks, receivers, line, the whole deal in a as game-like a setting as we can get them in.
Can you talk about, are you guys going to run a Wildcat tomorrow, or is that just something you'll wait and concentrate on this fall?
We might do it just a little. We've concentrated so much on just base stuff. I mean, it's been like, there hadn't been a lot of scheming going on. Defense either. I mean, it's been, you know, let's just learn to play football with our philosophies and our systems the way we want to. That's been our #1 goal, get a foundation. We do have some of that in, but it won't be a heavy dose, but you might see it sprinkled in there just a little, but not to the level that it could be and will be.
Who are your main guys?
Trevon and Quan have been kind of repping there right now.
I know that the goal is to have a 2 deep in place, at least tentatively after spring. How much of that do you feel like you kind of know right now, and then how much is going to really depend on what you see in front of the crowd later?
As coaches, we got a pretty good idea. You know, you get 12 practices in, a couple left. We got a pretty good idea of what we think, but tomorrow will be good because it's really our 3rd scrimmage. So it's like if you had 3 tests in class. You know, it's the 3rd one. Let's see where we're at. But the other one is too. You said it. How are we going to respond? There may be a guy who's done great all spring. Man, he gets out there in front of the lights and he's like a deer in the headlights. And there also may be a guy and he needs that big stage to kind of come on. And we'll learn more then. So there's still things that could change. Nothing's been said or set in stone, but we have an idea. But tomorrow is not only probably our last big evaluation, maybe the best, like I said, because it's the most game-like we can get.
Fred, you know, in 09, 10, and 11, you guys faked the speed sweep a lot. Like Ontario was the guy doing that. Will you guys do all that, you know, in 13?
Could. We've got some of that we've been working on. I mean, it all is going to go back to once we feel like we know what our too deep is and where we're putting guys, you know, we're going to do what we do, but we're going to try to also do the things that our guys do well and to give them the best chance to be successful. And if that'll be an advantage for us, then you bet.
I feel like you guys stayed so much in base just because you're trying to evaluate before you start scheming?
Yeah, and evaluate and get our guys to execute and learn the scheme. And you know, like I said, our theory is, and everybody's different, is it's not how many plays that you can run. We're not trying to come out of spring with saying, hey, we got a great quantity of plays. We ran our whole playbook and they all know what to at least line up and do. It's how many things can we execute well, the quality of it. And I would much rather come out of spring with 10 plays that we know how to execute extremely well against any look, no matter what they're doing, blitz, no blitz, all that, and then come out of spring saying I got 40 plays in, but we can't run any of them worth a flip, you know. And so that's been the mentality. And if we get the foundation, it's no different than if you get a foundation, you can build everything else on top of it. If you don't have a good foundation, then you just got a bunch of stuff. And that's been our philosophy always, not just this year, especially when you come in new. And so that's just kind of the approach we've taken.
How many plays do you feel comfortable with right now?
Like a number?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, I hadn't even thought about it that way, you know. With what we got in, we should be able to execute fairly well. I mean, we're not by any means where we need to be, but we feel like we've got the right amount of stuff in our foundation, and now it's going to be a matter of going out there and doing it and not panicking, you know, not freaking out in front of a crowd, and then just cleaning it up these last few days. But I think if we can finish, and that's another thing, comes to competing, we got to be able to finish. And if we can finish spring off right, I think we're on the right track.
Can you talk about Sean Coleman, how he's doing?
Yeah.
I guess it'll be his first game he's played since
Yeah,
high school.
really proud for him. He's had a good spring. You know, obviously everybody knows about his situation. Sean's getting better, and we've kept him in one spot. He'll be a guy ultimately like some of the guard that could move, you know, but we've tried to keep him in one spot, and you can see that's helped him really get better. And he's coming along fine. He's not ready yet, but man, he's still got the ability we thought he had, but it's just been from just a feel-good emotional side. It's been really neat to watch him get out there and really attack it and get better and get through it. So I'm proud of him. Be excited for him to get to do that tomorrow.